Chapter 2 Sri Sai Satcharita. In Chapter 2, Dabholkar, having seen Baba grinding the wheat, and the villagers tell him that Baba thus prevents the cholera epidemic from entering the village. He is intrigued and decides to write the Sri Sai Satcharita so that it will be instructive for the devotees and spiritually uplift them. However, he is plagued with doubts about his ability to write the life of a magnanimous saint like Sai Baba, whose life is as deep as the ocean and all-pervasive as the sky itself. To write the life of a saint, one should become a saint. Nonetheless, he feels that if this sacred work is accomplished, the readers, especially those who have not seen Baba, would be greatly benefited, and they would progress on their spiritual journey to attain their goal of self-realization. Dabholkar had utmost faith in Baba, and he feels sure that with Baba's blessings, Baba himself will get this work done through him. So he seeks Shama's help to get permission from Baba, and Baba gives his consent and blessings to him. On the very first day of his arrival in Shirdi, he and Bala Bhate had a heated discussion about the necessity of having a guru. Bhate said that it was absolutely necessary to have a guru, while Dabholkar said that everyone should do sadhana and thus advance spiritually. The next day, Baba asks them about it, saying, "And what did this Hemadpant have to say?" Thus Baba gives Dabholkar the name of Hemadpant or Hemadpant. Hemadpant was a man of many virtues. He was the minister of the king of the Yadav dynasty and was a prolific writer. So the name suited Dabholkar, but it was also a dart to his arrogance, as he thought that he had won the discussion with Bala Bhate, and this was the first lesson in humility for him. Then Dabholkar surrenders his ego at Baba's feet and starts collecting material for Baba's Gatha. In this chapter, I have seized the opportunity to talk about the life of two skeptics and their transformation. They are Balasaheb Bhate and Annasaheb Dabholkar. The transformation of Balasaheb Bhate. The story of Balasaheb Bhate is mind-boggling. He was a mamledar in Kopargaon and a friend of Chandorkar. They knew each other since college. While Chandorkar was well versed in religious scriptures, Bhate was just the opposite. His motto in life seemed to be smoke, drink, and eat and be merry. Chandorkar was an ardent devotee of Baba, and Bala was a skeptic. Whenever they met, Bala ridiculed the very idea of a well-educated person like Chandorkar going to pay obeisance to a human. Often he tried to convince the devotees from not making the pilgrimage to Shirdi. It seemed as if his mission in life was to sabotage the pilgrimage of any devotee going to see Baba. He was transferred to Sakori in 1894, and there he heard a kirtan about Kabir and Kamal by Sant Bahu Maharaj. Somehow he was drawn to it and he heard it attentively. He then came to Shirdi and took Baba's darshan. The very sight of Baba filled him with peace and bliss. He just sat and stared at Baba, oblivious of his surroundings. After a while, his companions asked him to accompany them back to Sakori. He said, Wait a bit." They waited, but he continued sitting, and the hours rolled by, so they left. So changed was he that he decided to stay on in Shirdi and make it his home. The once responsible person seemed to have forgotten all about his job, his family, and his home. He stayed on and served Baba till his Mahasamadhi. This dramatic change caused concern amongst the other devotees. Dixit, Chandorkar, and Shama asked Baba to intervene. Baba asked him to apply for 6 months of leave. This application he did write and send, but his mind was made up. Even his superiors, co-workers, friends came to advise him and take him back. He just said, once a person finds his goal, he should not leave it. His employer, knowing that he was a good employee, gave him a pension of 25 rupees per month on a compassionate basis because his mind was gripped by the fakir of Shirdi and Bala had religious melancholia. Balasaheb, however, progressed spiritually under the compassionate fakir and stayed on in Shirdi till his death. Mention is made of him in the Sai Satcharita, chapter 1 and chapter 44. After Baba's Mahasamadhi, the 13th day ceremony was conducted by Bala, when he did Tilanjali, Til Arpan and Pinda Pran. Dixit was very fond of Bhate because after his transformation, Bala Bhate spent all his time doing Seva, reading and studying spiritual books. He had a wonderful luster on his face. Dixit arranged for his family to come and stay with him. He also took care of his son Bapu, who was the same age as his own son Ramakrishna. So he got them admitted into Marathi school and treated them like twins. He paid for their education, and both the kids got new clothes, uniforms, and stationery at the same time. After completing their education in Shirdi, they went to Mumbai for further education. Ramchandra chose to do BSc, while Bapu Bhate chose BA. Both of them studied hard and did well. However, Balasaheb passed away, so Bapu had to discontinue his education and take up a job to support his mother and young brother. Bapu was eternally grateful to Kaka and his wife for taking good care of him and his family. Oftentimes he would say, "If it was not for Kaka, me and my family would have died of starvation." Transformation of Dabholkar. Dabholkar was a skeptic and did not think that it was necessary to have a guru. His life was a life of poverty, and through sheer hard work, he got a promotion in his government job. So his view was that one had to work hard to achieve your spiritual progress. What could a Sadguru do if you sleep and do not do sadhana? Why should one give up one's independence and voluntarily embrace subjugation of another? Where there is competence in performance of one's duty, what is the necessity of a guru? Even on the day he went to Shirdi, he bought a ticket for the wrong train. Suddenly, a Muslim asked him where he was going. Dabholkar replied he was going to Dadar to catch the Manmad mail to Kopargaon and thence to Shirdi. The Muslim corrected him, saying that the Manmad mail did not stop at Dadar. He said, "You had better go straight to Victoria Terminus and catch it there, for there will be sufficient time for you to get a ticket." If this incident had not happened, Dabholkar may have returned home. When Baba calls, he makes everything easy for you. The heated discussion between Balasaheb Bhate and Dabholkar. That very night there was a heated discussion between Bhate and Dabholkar. Bhate maintained that the Sadguru was of utmost importance in one's spiritual progress, or it was just book knowledge. Dabholkar said that one had to work hard to gain spiritual progress. What could a Sadguru do if you sleep and do no sadhana? The next day Baba asked what the discussion was that took place in the Vada. Then, pointing to Dabholkar, he said, "What did this Hemadpant have to say?" Thus Dabholkar got the new name. When Dabholkar got the name, it foretold his future and the Seva that he would do for Baba. Thus, he wrote the Poti or the Sri Sai Satcharita and later did a lot of work for the Sansthan along with Dixits. He made Baba's Sansthan very successful and famous.